And where was love's sideways glance? Where was the heart he thought he had held in an empty glass, waiting for a kiss that would illuminate and pierce what could not be kissed? Starlight shimmered on the rim, dancing on the infinite divide between here and nowhere. No need of words or song to sing of this love that holds you in its own embrace. And empty handful of tears disappearing, a bouquet of unutterable beauty, it is your gift to you. It was a feathered glance that stole his heart. He could not resist his shadow dancing. He found his will an empty letter cast with all his dreams into the sun, where love lay bleeding, his heart adrift. Paceless arrows never shot, yet pierced. His dream of never collapsed forever into a wasteland. Yet the sunset still beckoned, filling empty sails with wakeless dreams of love's glimmering shadow. And in the hush of early, a wind sweeps across the nighttime dream and caresses her, whispering kiss into a song where love appears like magic to bask in each other's glow, and shadowed dreamscapes seem to rise up to kiss an empty horizon where love lost his petaled glimpses of doorways beckoning into a time that time forgot, whose feet wandered into deep-tiered forests submerged in desert sands, whose song echoed forth in starlight wonder of days where nights stretched out their wings and embraced their tenderness, as aching hearts spied their reflections and bled into the dream. And love was like a byline, an empty space that collapsed into itself as it blossomed into an empty shell, and sung sea dreams where love's heart magic told its tale. Every night fell through the day and left an impenetrable stillness that moved a stunning silence in waves of wonder, a brilliant thundering aliveness that spoke of nothing else than this indescribable vastness, and a symphony without place or rhythm, yet unforgettably, as fingerprints lost themselves in the whorls and swirls of the waves crashing at midnight on the shifting sands, bathed in a kiss of moon. And edgeless dreamscapes never captured nor lost, reflected in a sideways glance, in flowing waters of supreme stillness, echoed, resounding, ricocheting down wall-less canyons where shadows waltzed in timeless contrapuntal rhythms. Infinite parentheses of primordial songs reverberate, attenuating into an arabesque, almost touching, yet never touching, nor not separate. Consumed, devoured, in infinite spacious brilliance, sky-like vastness without other falls through itself, collapsing, ever blooming, an implosion of exploding light swooning into light, and color streaming through rainbowed shimmering, and sound falling through empty footfalls, without border nor edge, an unfindable, unmissable point begins to draw lines through songs not sung, never written, yet inescapably wondrous. Morning sees itself bloom into day through a windowed glance where lips kissed ancient melodies into a song, a breath, a sigh, falling back through itself. Silent yet heard, slipping like wind through your fingers, caressing your cheek, your heart, piercing like a saber, shattering all your dreams of yesteryear and the morrow. Time has lost and no one won. Slipping, sliding, dancing in as the flow, bathed in sunset's dream, and unknowing cannot be spoken of. It is a sublime unknowing, without doubt or confusion or non-confusion. Words sing themselves and sing us into a painted, flowing watercolor picture bleeding into a dream. A river called time is needed for our tears to flood into, and the rippling creates an ever-emerging momentary that catches the sunlight, just so, and rocks and rolls and trickles and streams and dances and twirls into circles of whirlpooling shadows that eddy and flow into and through themselves. We are simply tone poems blossoming and falling, aching for the light to strum our colors into streaming lanterns for just a brief moment. A window, a touch, a breath, a sigh, a moonbeam fell through her open door and wept on her doorstep, sobbing infinite colors and hues and uncountable, inseparable oceans of light, spilling, flooding, tasting, touching, aching, for the taste of taste, where life saw itself, and was amazed and delighted at its own wonderment, and sang and dove and slipped back into the flowing, back into the hush, back into the softness that it has always been, melting into your own caress, the inside dissolved into the outside. This vibration, this pulsating aliveness, allowing awareness to be aware of itself, and every note arching with innumerable overtones, creating a symphony and silence and a hush, a breath that sings, music of unbearable beauty. You have become wonder itself. Beauty looks in the mirror and weeps. Slipping into and through each other, lost in the imaginary places in between. Love is sublime. It's like watching your lines form as the passion play sings and unsings itself, being the character and watching it, and knowing, feeling that it is a dream, and all your friends and lovers and that old man down the street are made up, and love and madness continue, yet it is known that they are also made up, waltzing, pirouetting, dancing themselves into a world of separate things and time, a river, a flowing, where your tears can never be numbered or caught. And the sun could not see her infinite beauty, but everywhere she gazed, she saw her own reflection. And the music sang itself, waves formed and crashed onto the edges of a shoreless ocean, and finding, touching, weeping into their own wetness, dissolved into the sea. And when the lines are known and felt to be imaginary, an unknown beauty, overwhelmingly naked and unadorned, reveals itself. There is a direct, intimate honesty, as you no longer feel separate from what is going on. The made-up world of things becomes unbelievably, immeasurably wondrous. The imaginary line between inside and out disappears. Tears, such unnameable beauty. And what she could no longer name, she felt surging through her as her. It is uncontained, unrehearsed, uncaused. You reach out your hands, and the sky pulls you in. You stretch your toes, and the bottomless depths swallow you. And after you are consumed by the blueness, you are forever part sky. It is the nakedness, the rawness of life unowned, unhidden, not lost, nor findable. The dance where two-ness slides into itself. Hearts touching, falling, dissolving like this. Words jump out of the inky blackness, and rainbows write symphonies across the sky that spill into your heart and dash against the sea, leaving traceless rainbow reflections in your eyes. Arabesques in the sky left by the heron's wing, not lost, not found. The sighs slip into the flowing, beauty revealed, never caught. Like ripples flowing across fields of grasses, never lost, never found, yet vividly apparent. Like the reflection of a kiss on an edgeless sea, no lips can be touched. Shadows dancing, lost in a field of dreams, found only in their rippling reflection. And I have become the song I ached for and always seemed to miss. Yet I could not quite recall the words. They were always on my lips, the taste of taste, the warm liquidity, the ever-present flowing of home. This vibrant, pulsating aliveness that you feel moving through you is you. Isn't it amazing that we, as a product of the thought stream, can watch it paint a symphony of our colors, arpeggio and fall, blooming in infinite, incomparable forms, merging, flowing, rippling, shimmering into and through castles of ever-moving clouds and thought dreams and pictures and sounds of pasts and futures and stories of brilliant immediacy shooting through edgeless space and stopping, pausing, hanging by threads of weaving, bejeweled wonder, illuminating the inky darkness, seeming to settle and rocket again into dancing shadows lit from within, shot through with myriad unfindable specks and sparkles of hints of weightiness, of the enormity of utter lightness, and oh my, feelings that run and sparkle and pierce the sky, and a you that is not separate from the forces blooming and falling, and that this pulsating aliveness you feel, you know, so intimately, so tenderly, so wondrously, shooting through you, is you. And empty winds blew through the morning and echoed songs into the vastness of love and love lost, and shadows dancing in the night, neither here nor there, nor lost nor found. Waves crash on the edge of a shoreless ocean, and without any hope of harbor, her heart sank. And the stillness of evening rose in the rippleless wakes of dawn. Colors, shapes, timbre, and hue drop from unfathomable depths and sing into form and fade simultaneously. The scaffolding, the myriad planes of an ever-shifting dance floor fall away, and there is no more place to hang your hat. No corner, no center, no edge can be found, and starlight weeps at its own magnificence as it sweeps through your skinless mind. Falling through the mirror, everything and nothing must go, but a reflection of who you were, a shadow, a phantom dances. Lit by shimmering starlight, a pas de deux sings us into being. Simultaneously disappearing, merging, dissolving, emerging, breaking the surface of the ocean like a manta ray shimmering in the sunset, rainbows streaming down and through transparent mind, joyfully playing in the waterland of love, delightfully sliding down the curl of duality. The thought stream is constantly creating you, but there is a knowing that it is a creation, and that it is ever fleeting and has no substance, just as the wind makes no imprint on the sky, and yet you fly as the wind, and the wind blows through you, as you, at the same time, riding the updrafts of love, swirling, dancing in ever-widening spirals of ecstasy. And sometimes when you're surfing, you can reach out and touch the side of the wave, fingers dipped in swirl. And sometimes when you least expect it, the sun shines right through you. And sometimes when the package you tried to stuff your afflictions in comes undone, the wave swallows you. And sometimes, as if by magic, the magic unties you. And sometimes your attenuated fingers reaching, an arabesque quite marvelous, is no longer separate from the moon. And the hush of midnight is your very breath, and the roar of canyon winds sings your name as it sails through your hair, your skin, your teeth, your blood, your bones, and you are the wind, and the wind is you, and you realize it has always been this way. And your very heart, your very love explodes into the night, and your heartbeat is everywhere, this and that, magnificently unfolding, weaving and unweaving the dream, the dance, the song, with jewels of tears, like rain, like sorrow, like joy, like nothing at all. An empty breath subsides into the sand glistening in the sunset on the edge of a shoreless ocean, where even love cannot find a harbor. All anchors have been ruptured, like the sails of her dreams, tattered, flying magnificently in uncharted seas. Feelings happen, yet there are no feelings until named. No separate feelings until named. No separate you having feelings until named. There are simply no separate things until named. No you, no me, no love. Life happens utterly spontaneously, yet it has no name nor non-name. All separation is made up, conceptual. What is going on has no qualities or characteristics or measurement or split or division or edge anywhere. And as soon as one word is spoken or thought, it is like a lightning bolt has ruptured the vault of unending sky into infinite shards of blue, and every piece feels like a dagger in your heart, because as soon as the concept of the idea of you arises, you now feel separate from what is going on, and you spend the rest of your life trying to feel whole, to patch what was never separate, and everything you do, all seeking, searching for that missing piece, merely perpetuates the illusion of separation, tightens the noose. As belief in separation is the same as belief in personal volition, you will not find the answer to this problem in a book, or in a poem, or meditation, or falling in love, or walking in nature. Although these may seem to give you a temporary sense of relief, the permanent relief you seek will cost you everything and nothing. Yet you cannot choose to pay. It is a ripping apart of everything you have ever held to be true about yourself and the world, including the idea of truth, and love, and purpose, and meaning, and non-meaning, and even that there is anyone to have a world, and no one can give you nothing, and no one arrives. You will never get this. It is truly an empty prize for no one. And when unicity becomes obvious, you are not thinking, oh, I am inseparable from the tree or the sky or my neighbor. There is simply no you and no tree, and space in between. No before or after like pegs on a line of time. It is not, oh, I am all this, or even all this. It is known and felt that there are no separate things or events. Time and self and other never existed. There is not even nothing until thought seems to create it. Yet it is always known to be a dream, and somehow realer than real. Wordless wonder is always on, brilliant and beautiful underneath the storm. It cannot be thought about or spoken of. The tightly clenched fist of I am explodes into everywhere and nowhere. It's not that the hand unfolds, it becomes transparent. Believing in the dream is the dream. Knowing it is a dream is the dream. Recognizing and feeling unicity is the dream. Believing you can escape is the dream. Knowing you cannot is the dream. Believing in other, in time, in separation is the dream. Knowing this is it is the dream. All require imaginary separation. Anything said about the dream is the dream. All description is the dream, including this. What is going on is spontaneously, naturally present. Without any doing or non-doing, it is obviously so. A vast expanse, it cannot be contained or captured, as it has no edges or center or any place or thing that can be grasped. Limitless, it cannot be imagined or even thought about or conceived of in any way. It is pure and unstainable and cannot be added to or subtracted from. We all know this. It is deeply intuited. The apparent arising of self and all other things seems to hide this unutterable knowingness. This recognition of unicity cannot be contrived or arrived at, as it is already the case. As long as there is belief in separation, there will be an attempt to reconnect that which has never been separate. One tries to imagine this feeling of oneness and creates a goal that seemingly can be attained, but that idea of oneness is simply that. And all ideas of future attainment merely perpetuate the feeling of going somewhere and the illusion that there is a you who can do something or nothing to get there. But there is no future. It is an idea. Past is merely memories occurring in the ungraspable, unfindable, inseparable, momentary. There is nothing outside of it, nor things inside, yet it contains and includes all thingness. It simply cannot be grasped or understood, as there is no separate grasper or things to be grasped. This is it, always, just as it is. Looking for it is included, as well as the recognition of it. Life simultaneously writing and erasing itself, of itself so. Knowing this intellectually will not stop the seeking for it. Seeking is a perpetually self-sustaining loop. Something else uncaused happens that breaks the circling, the spinning in which an imaginary center arises. And even if the words we use to describe this vast, uncompounded, limitless expanse are beyond imagining, then how could what's going on be within the realm of imagination? As it is like a dream, like an illusion, like a hologram, like a mirage, an echo, a reflection, a magician's tale, no word, concept, idea can touch it, grasp it, kiss it. Yet it includes all words and descriptions. Edgeless, seamless, infinite, centerless, indivisible, with no reference points whatsoever, yet vividly apparent, all things seem to arise, having no independent existence. Like imaginary castles in the air, you cannot move in. Like a mirage in the desert, you cannot drink from it. Like a reflection of your lover's face in the mirror, you cannot kiss it. As space cannot be grasped, and you can never find harbor on a shoreless ocean. There is nothing to be gained by looking for fulfillment in an empty glass that has no bottom or sides or emptiness, and you cannot fill something which has no space to be filled. Even as things seem to arise, they are merely made up, as pure space cannot be divided. There is no extremes of change or non-change, freedom versus non-freedom. Here nor there, nor place nor non-place, no time nor timelessness, no inside nor outside, nor both, nor neither. There are no separate things to be lost and no one to find them. There is no one to put together what was never separate. All dream trying perpetuates the illusion of a trier and a goal of wholeness. As wholeness cannot be imagined, it has no edges. It remains an idea, a goal to reach in the non-existent future. The trying is like the prow of a ship pretending to slice up the sea. A sweet melancholia sweeps through you and stirs up forgotten motes sparkling in your heart, shimmering and dancing your old songs on an empty stage. It strikes deeply in the most intimate part of you. It is neither bad nor good, an indefinable falling through yourself. As you are ripped inside out, you lose direction and no longer care which way is up or down. Soars through you, and as he followed his tears to the ocean, vast, he scanned and could see no things, and all there was a sunset blooming. Reds and oranges danced in the sky that had swallowed him, and he tried to rip the bandages from his tattered heart, looking for true love, and every ounce of effort built the remnants of his castle higher. And what could he be without the trying? Where would he be without a castle, and clouds, and a song to follow? Without a belief in home? And he twirled, and he stumbled, and he fell upon himself. There had to be some place where he could rest, yet everything he touched began to crumble. Every star, every lover, every tear, every moment. His own reaching began to fall apart. His own fingers began to lose their focus. He could not remember what he was reaching for, or why. And his reasons fell into the vastness. What was the time? What was the place? Where was the morrow? Where was that last place that he thought he had glimpsed a certain brightness, a certain luminosity that pierced his heart? Was it not now? Was it not always? Was it not always? Was it past? Was it not future? Where was the clock? Where was his timeline? Where were his fingers? Where was his heart? Where was his song? Where was the love? Where was the where, when even nothing was lost? And what would it be if there was only the cricket song, if tears washed away your footprints, if light burned away your shadow? Where does a dance go when it has no edges, no steps? Why is a song when it is silent? And what can I do? What do I long to say? What do I long to share? How can I share this kiss, this kiss, this kiss? Is your kiss. These lips are your lips. This love is your love. And it has always been this way, and it will always be. Although there is no time, you are not lost. You are not found. You do not exist. You are but a memory of an aching heart. You were but a dream of a song, of a memory that sang so sweetly. A reflection in the night where shadows died. Lilting refrains echoing down the canyon, washing moonbeams of emptiness into a basin that has no bottom. We are but tears falling from an empty sky, and knowing this, there is nothing more sublime. As he crawled across the burning desert, tried to drink from every mirage until every pore of his being was ripped inside out, and he stood amazed at his utter nakedness and wept as the full moon sailed through him. Overwhelming, unbearable beauty, shimmering, shining, baseless, directionless reflections echoing from nowhere and everywhere, imploding, exploding, a timpani, a solo, a duet, a chorus of one, of two, of many, of none, a cacophony of wonder, a symphony of song, whose words can never be heard, but are felt deeply, always, whose melody sings you, sings me, sings silence, breathing a stillness of utter magnificence, moving without movement. Overtones and undertones with infinite reverberations, a kaleidoscopic wonderland, an ever-blooming flower extending everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, in all direction, in no direction, touching itself in these rhythmless rhythms, these patternless patterns, an exquisite dance singing itself, wind and light and life flowing through me, as me. Kissed, embraced from the inside, from the outside. There are no sides, there are no non-sides. It is softer than soft, this edgeless edge, this transparent, seamless beingness. This ease of life doing itself, no more backward glances to see where footsteps lie. They all filled with tears long ago, and the edges crumbled. No more wondering where these footfalls will go. There is no direction. There is no next, longed for. The dance knows how to dance when the dance floor has fallen away, and you looked at your dance card and you realize it has always been empty. It is always the first and last kiss. My own sweet love, my own eyes sparkling with tender wetness, allowing the primordial, preverbal, unknowable, unsingable, uncatchable, all-encompassing hum, the vibration, the heartbeat of existence, to sing, to taste, to touch, to feel its own aliveness, vibrantly, passionately, beautifully, in love, with love, in awe of awe. How marvelous that these words can flow through me and paint my imaginary lines, just as they self-erase. For when I am not singing of this, there is simply suspended, edgeless awe. And randomly spiraling drifts of daydream, gossamer spiderwebs soaring through the air, catching the light in sparkling radiance, threads forgotten untied the light, burning brightly through ideas of time, aloft, adrift, suspended as nothingness. Dawn sees itself in the morning flower, wind kisses itself in the petals shimmering, tears touching the radiance between light and shadow, seeing their reflection in the canyon stream. Echoed halls of wordless wonder, wandering, meandering, ricocheting, soundlessly singing, the day begins, lost in night, lost in light, swooning into and through itself, caressed from the inside out. The universe swallows me, falling into my own infinite, intimate embrace. It is like the sea collapsed into the sky and crushed you and you drowned, and you awaken, rolled up onto an empty beach, surf playing in your toes and seaweed in your hair. And there is no difference between you and the sea or sky or sand, or before or after, or no other period. And slowly, softly, you see shells sweeping in and out, and you can discern clouds forming, echoing the shallow sea foam dancing, and your hand enjoys the warm, wet sand, and your tears have joined into a concert of wonder, and that peace of belonging, of home, of utter rest never leave. And you walk down the empty beach, naked, unadorned, in utter wonder, one foot ever sliding into the vastness, the other footless in the sand. And the all-consuming final tsunami of night crashes into you, crushes you on the rocks and corals, and drags you out into the bottomless depths, until all that you were is squeezed out of you, and a centerless light appears, erasing the shadows of apparent duality, flooding you, consuming you, and an enormity of sublime lightness. Transparent, seamless beingness never leaves, even after you are spit out again, aching on the shore of wet and dry, up and down, here and there. Thoughts, words, concepts, ideas can never capture what is going on, as what is going on is fluid and has no edges. Yet they paint a beautiful picture of separate things and separate colors and separate people and separate moments and separate feelings, weaving a beautiful web that seems to catch for an instant time, place, dimensionality, causality, love, and beauty. But this web of words, this dream of separation, is magnificent when it is not believed in. However, when it is believed, is exceedingly painful. Ambiguous phrases and poetry sometimes can leave the mind hanging. Scarab shattered on the rails of infinity, greeny golds oranging into purply skies, the sublime hush of nighttime swoons into the arms of day, collapsing under its own weight. Lightness breathes, a sorrowed gasp of wonder, twisted and turned, wrenched and plummeted into itself, aghast, unstrung, untangled in the tangles and deep, marrowed webs of its own magnificence. And what was it? What was the lure? What was the song? What was the carrot, the golden ring that was dangled just beyond your grasp? And you knew that it was huge beyond infinite, and you knew that it was a mystery that could never be grasped, and you knew that it was a majesty that laid you bare, stripped of everything, stripped of nothing. The longing to collapse into your own magnificence pounded you, bejangled you, ripped you, tore you, shredded you, pierced you at the very center until the center exploded, and like your head underwater, On the shore, the waves beat you, flattened you. Between movement and non-movement, there was no longer a space or place to find comfort, to find harbor, to find purchase on the rocks of this shoreless sea. Their resonance overwhelmed any ideas of internal rhythms. It was the music, the hush of the universe, laughing, weeping, sobbing at its own beauty. You finally caught a glimpse of yourself, reflected in your own tears, in the waves, in the ocean, in all wetness, in all tenderness, in every human, as every story, unfolding, infolding, wrapped at the unwrapping of the maze. The map of silence begins to sing anew, always this touch, this taste, this sound. Ah, this life, this life, this life untold. Filigreed light wings caressed the window where his heart waited for his lover, but she crept in the back door. A shadow, an echo, a memory. He turned, and colors swirled and danced in a mirage of an embrace, like autumn leaves suspended in a hush. He reached to touch, to grasp, to merge with the song he knew so well, but had seemed to have forgotten, and the rhythm moved him deeply, pierced his waiting heart. Indefinable words of a familiar sound wove into enchanted beauty. Transfixed, he could no longer cared to find the melody, the song, the dance, the beauty, the magnificence. He understood it was not separate from him. And the wind left a trace in the room where love died, reflections blossoming in an empty bouquet. She spun in every direction, trying to hear, to catch the primordial song without words, and was overwhelmed when her heart was pierced from the inside, from the outside, echoes gleaming in the wasteland of love. A cat's cradle crocheted of dreams and fears and yesteryears. Tears could not capture the light, as it fell through the apparent shadows of diversity, revealing an ancient wonder that could not be kissed. In the end, there is simply an atemporal kiss, a contrapuntal, timeless blast of silence singing, a continual union of what was never separate, and the ever-emerging, self-releasing momentary is unbearably wondrous. All we can know but not grasp is the symphony playing itself and self-releasing. All your hopes and dreams and expectations of what life looks like, what it should look like, vanish, and life is a trackless wonderland. Smoke signals in the dark, the scent of wonder blossoms. All we can know, all we can feel, is this utterly obvious, always unavoidable, brilliant aliveness, this edgeless, beginningless, endless, atemporal, uncatchable, unpinpointable, fleeting, without ever existing, simultaneously emerging and self-erasing, like a measureless, limitless, infinitely varied explosion imploding without variation, this ambiguous, amorphous, ever-emerging momentary, a surge, a bursting, an infinitely blooming flower, weeping, dissolving, tenuously, beautifully impermanent, nor impermanent, riding itself on a river, lost in whirlpooled reflections, like shadows flowing over and under, into and through each other, unrippled, sourceless, shimmering. It's a beautiful, sublime melancholy, as you have lost everything, including someone who can lose or gain anything or nothing, even love. And awakening is really nothing at all, but it far exceeds any ideas of what you thought you wanted, and there can be endless tears. Joy and sorrow merge into a supreme, deep current of unnamed, unknown emotion. There is a simple joy in just being, feeling or not, no one to care what it might be labeled. And driving in the late afternoon sun, the pavement is so beautiful. It takes your breath away, all of it. So wondrous, utterly beyond belief or understanding. The shh of oh my, how could it be so unbearably marvelous? And there is no one left to ask, or no one to answer. In the deepest dark of the night, there is an undeniable stillness, a hush. Winter approaches, the cricket song left with the last moon. Like a dream or vision you can't quite forget or remember, the story or song, but the melody penetrates your being. A vibration, a hum, calling you, beckoning you from the inside, from the deepest hidden unseen part of you that you try to deny. It demands attention, yet when you try to see it, to capture it, it vanishes, like an echo reverberating, pulsating, vibrating, all and everything moving as this dance, extending farther than you can see or imagine you can imagine. The ocean bird's shadow soars across the brilliant rippling waters, and you look up to find nothing. A cloud seems like a landmark in a storm, but your feet find no purchase on the reflections from yesteryear, and you can no longer find your shadow, as your story has unfolded into the vastness of all stories. A single tear, wet like wetness, a drop of rain, slides into the sea, never not wet. This glistening, tender wetness of our beautiful shared humanness, unwritten stories write themselves, dancing footless as starlight's echo bathed in the warmth of the moon's reflection, spinning in the spin of what she could no longer cared to touch. Her rainbow skirts fell into the sky, trailing into infinitely cascading filigreed wonder, kissing all and everything into a stream of delight, a timeless ease, the backbeat of this unwritten symphony, whispering baseless overtones, a wordless wonder sings, not related nor intertwined. An edgeless emptiness subsumes and unties all ideas of need for completion. She was a hologram of an edgeless bow on a package sent to no end, twisting and curling, exploding chrysanthemum ribbon, and the empty box, bereft of wishes and dreams, was the prize. The present unwrapped itself and revealed gifts beyond imagination, the shock of recognition, the zing of what cannot be captured, the brilliance of seamless transparency, ephemeral, less than a glance from the side of a rearview mirror, simply so, revealing itself spontaneously, singing itself, it immediately falls into its own hush, just like this. The paint has fallen off the glass, and the light and love she had longed for pierced her and shattered her, and scattered her tears like infinitely faceted gems throughout all and everything. And everywhere she looked, she saw her own starlight dancing, and everything she touched, she felt her own warm tears. She was the scent of scent, the blue of blue, the touch of touch, more intimate than her tongue in her mouth. An unbearable joy, knowing that she was unknowable, flooded through her night and day, and she wept, writing backwards across the sky, torn up in dream's reflection, ripping away everything that lay asunder, jewels gleaming untouched, uncapturable, facets cut through their own reflections, like a knife in the soft palate of your heart. Tasting the fullness, you dream of more, and you are lost forever in your desire to know, to capture, to hold the unknowable, until the spark, the ember, the fire burns your hand, burns to the ground, and your ashes are swept away, and only a memory can rebuild, reform nothingness into you, now, spaceless beingness. Like a reflection on a ripple, an echo in a dream, there's nothing to find and no one to find it. And this lostness, beyond lost or found, is sublimely okay. There is no concern to capture the light. It is obvious that it's everywhere. Like a centerless jewel, you are the reflections dancing, streaming light, streaming space, streaming stories across the universe. A shooting star in all its glory has no comparison to you. A stillness that sings. Without a singer, it appears without any effort or non-effort, and is recognized without any effort or non-effort, all arising equally and evenly, and self-releasing without ever existing. A song that moves and swings without movement, dancing. An uninterrupted, indivisible, seamless symphony, a flow of what we call perception, feeling, sight, sound, taste, bodily sensation, touch, and the simultaneous, inseparable recognition of it. And we are that flowing without movement, that song without melody. We emerge in the thought stream that sings us into being, that passion play painting and erasing itself, pure, vast, spacious beyond measure, the light and the reflection. As the hush falls through the hush, in between the breath and the song, we are that love song. Life kissing itself through our lips, singing itself, weeping at its own measureless, supreme beauty, shimmering awe, like this. And she ran with utter abandon, no longer caring of the hurt or of love she felt she had lost. And she felt that thick coat slip off her shoulders, and wings grew out of the ashes of that tightness, that constriction, no longer running to or from, the lightness of her footsteps, her breath, the wind, the memory of tears paled. Time was lost, wondrous beingness known utterly, stunned, that the searchlights of hope and fear no longer pinned her to the ground, like a wild child born to no one, fresh roots exposed to the light. This nakedness is astounding. Everything we thought we didn't want, a world of what we considered to be affliction, like a can opener rips your socks off, every last corner turned inside out. Walking in wonder. The streetlights are your clothes. They swirl around like empty dresses and brush your tender cheeks with nothing other than your own heartfelt kiss. And this current of love seems dreamlike, as it is like nothing you felt before. Life can no longer be put into boxes, where you kiss the lock and throw away the key. Nothing is saved or earned in this flowing, edgeless dream. Oil lamps are no longer lit, waiting for your lover to come home. No longer do you wait for that dragon's breath on your cheek, yet your lips smile at the memory, and you cry remembering the pain of waiting for an impossible dream, for a four-leaf clover to grow in your heart and to light the way to freedom, to love, to peace, counting the stars till midnight and never knowing where to start, to break open the sky so love will never be missed. No longer waiting for a lonesome ship to sail into your heart, no longer waiting to be wed with the captain. There is no one manning the boat, as seas softly stirring form whirlpools of emptiness. It's like every dream unfurled, yet like nothing at all, when your heart drops. There is only a sublime ripple in the air, like a breath, not yours or mine, an ever-heard, never-sung song, singing the moment into existence. The wind blows through you, and you are the wind, dancing. Tears flow through you, and the world is crying. They slip into the imaginary spaces between us, where love ignites, washed in ringlets of dew, set adrift, gossiping among the stars. It's a shimmering dancing with no shadow casters, yet the light seems to swirl in and around and through you. The puppet master lost his bet and ran screaming into the darkness. He cannot be found. He was a mirage, just like you, and no longer looking for that which cannot be found, even a touch, a moment, a kiss, a glance, a sigh. The evening calls you into the dance. Brilliant, baseless, beingless, there is really no ultimate cause, no separate things or events. It's all of a piece. And yes, it's all description. Stories. How beautiful that the mind can make up these stories of lovers, fighters, a sun that lies below the horizon, waiting to rise. Without the story of you, there is no one to see it or call it beautiful, or story, or two to see each other and say, I love you, you are beautiful. Wakeless, streaming, rainbows falling into themselves, laughing. One never needed to see where the sky kissed the sea. It was your own moon rising in the unfathomable sea of tears where you drowned. So beautiful, this delicate transience. A rippling of the wind opens the curtains just for a moment. Loose strands of my hair caress my cheek. Songs write themselves, laughing winds crying, shimmering in pools of moonlight where safety and danger have merged. Teardrops weaving, collapsing into themselves, bottomless, spilling, flowing, toppling the firmest foundation, this water of love, ripping the heart of the universe out and spreading it across the heavens, and dyeing the fabric of earth with indelible kisses that fade into the moon. Songs unheard, songs never written, kiss you full on the mouth. The kiss of nothingness erases time, yet it is written with forgotten melodies as it reappears, smiling in every touch, every gesture, every breath sings, this is it. It has always been this way.